Great Mother speaks.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit.
Hello, welcome to your Capricorn New Moon 2018 reading. This is a seeding reading, and welcome back if you've been here before. If this is your first time, check out the links below to make sure that you know what your moon sign is. We work with both here from the sidereal and the Western astrology because our moon sign is our emotional state as well as our intuitional knowing what we know. That is the energy of Great Mother, and that's what we work with here. We work with getting closer in tune with that, and so the frequency that we all operate on is that moon sign. It is the channel that was established for us at the moment of our incarnation. It is a collective consciousness that we share, a collective unconscious for most of us that we share with other beings in a celestial body. So if your celestial body, where the moon was when you were born, is Taurus, for example, more than likely your sidereal zodiac sign is going to be Aries. There's a 24-degree difference, of course, the sidereal being in precession of the Western astrology. It is the soul astrology. It is the snapshot of the spirit evolutionary development at the time of its incarnation in our body. So that's where the soul communicates to the ego from, that astrology. That's where our intuition comes from. And so we go back into that here with Great Mother Speaks readings, because that's where Great Mother speaks from, the yin energy, the Holy Spirit, that still small voice, our soul. Our ego, on the other hand, communicates through Western astrology, which is earth-oriented. It is ego-oriented, and so it's based on this physical life experience. There is soul information in the Western astrology, in our north and our south node markings, and we can talk about that a little bit later. But for now, in terms of our lunar readings, new moon and full moon, it's important that you know that the ego communicates to the soul through emotional response, and this emotional response is based on your Western moon sign, and the intuition that it is responding to is from the sidereal. It is an ego soul endless communicative process until the day we release this body. So for the Capricorn new moon, it's important to note that its ruling planet is now inside of the constellation. So we're probably experiencing a greater degree of constrictions, limitations, boundaries, maybe some delays. This video for me is an example. It's been tremendously challenging getting this up. What Great Father Capricorn energy does, ruled by Saturn, is make sure that what we do when we incarnate has practical meaning, has practical use, and on a cosmic, sidereal, joytish, soul level, Saturn, its ruling planet, makes sure that we're on time with our awareness, that we have a limited amount of it in our physical form, and to get to what we came here to do. So, getting to it, these are your readings for the Capricorn New Moon 2018. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoy it. Capricorn, welcome Capricorn moon sign people. This is your moon for the year, the new moon for Capricorn. We all have one every year, and so this is your planting moon, which you share with the entire planet, because this is when we plant for the year. This is when we are in full swing from the resurrection of the sun, from the 21st of December, the winter solstice, and we're moving, or the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. It doesn't matter. It is a collective unconscious planting time, and everything is planted in the unconscious before it becomes conscious, before it's materialized into the world. Even the sirens that we're hearing now, there was some cry out in the inner world that someone had. They were crying on the inside, and so now we get to hear the crying sirens. That's what I call them. This neighborhood, you never ever heard sirens before, and I'm sure many of you can relate to that. Never heard them. Never heard them. And there are a lot of elderly people here too, and so you would think, well, they are passing away, and no, they would just go, and no sirens, no need, no reason, but almost every single day now, This is the world that we're living in, and Saturn has entered your sign. So Saturn rules your sign, Capricorn, and so all of us again are feeling this vibrational pull with Saturn. Saturn, granddaddy of the cosmos, right? Making sure we are on target with our soul mission on Earth this lifetime. Okay, so Capricorn moon people, Great Mother's coming through, and she's saying that you are approaching this Capricorn new moon with an attitude of emancipation. This is the Breathe card. Isn't that awesome? The Breathe card. That's the last scene of the film. This deck is based on the 49 scenes of The Wizard of Oz, and this one, with regard to how you're approaching this new moon, is there's no place like home. This is when Dorothy realizes that home is where her heart is. Home is our intuition. The heart is the crossroads between the ego and the soul. The ego communicates to the soul through emotion, that emotion of gratitude we see here in the balsamic moon. The balsamic moon is rest, relaxation, rejuvenation. It is taking in what has happened, just the prior lunar cycle, about to go into the new moon. So if you're seeing this just before the new moon, then you are receiving some downloads, letting you know that you're free, you can exhale. What are you free from? Well, for you, the Capricorn moon is in your first house, the house of your identity. Now, Uranus has been in Aries for the past 7 years, and so that is the first sign on the zodiac wheel, which has to do, again, first house energy, our identity. So this is very powerful for you, Capricorn. So the emancipation has to do with your identity, freeing yourself to express that. Because in the sidereal, it's in the first house as well, because the new moon is in Sagittarius, that 24-degree precession before Capricorn. It's in Sagittarius, and so in your first house, in your sidereal, in your soul astrology, and so your soul's identity is coming into greater clarity. It's coming into greater amplified communication with you. And so you have probably been feeling that over the past 7 years quite intensely, particularly if you are an empath, intuitive, or a sensitive. I know that from my work. And I know also that when you get to a place of accepting your identity, which is very difficult for sensitives to do many times, because it takes you on a journey. Because once you do accept it, then you have to also accept that you're going to have to assert that intuition, that sensitive knowing, that empathic knowing. And the fear that our loved ones have of that power doesn't go away. You know, all of a sudden our mothers don't just say, oh, you're acknowledging you have this sensitive ability. Oh, okay, that's wonderful. You know, and so it has its own challenges, emancipation does. It has its own challenges. And for you, Capricorn moon, because it's related to your identity, be it about sensitivity, or be it here we have the balsamic moon, which is the resting moon, the moon that has to do with, again, downloading information from Great Mother. It's right before the new moon. It's right before the seeding moon. Every new moon is a seeding, a planning moon, a thinking things out moon. But just before it, it is amplified. It's supported by the balsamic moon, what the old folks used to call the crying moon, that gives it downloads of information that it needs in order to do the planning, in order to do the seeding. And that is a third eye card, emancipation. And so that intuitive wisdom is very important. In the Vedic, in the sidereal zodiac, the new moon is in Sagittarius, again, the 24 degrees in precession. And so for you, with this first house in Sagittarius energy, it's about your identity of knowing what you see to be real, trusting what you see on a soul level. The soul, again, this is a third eye card. Okay, it's a third eye card. That internal knowing the soul has, it's very clear about it. It's not going back and forth. It's very firm in what it knows its identity to be. All of us have our own unique cosmic calculus, and not every soul is so secure in itself, and yours won't always be either, but it is now. There are always cycles and phases of life in every cycle and phase of life. Your cycle and phase of life as a soul just happens to be very full moon oriented, very solar oriented, very great father oriented in this I am energy of this Aries working in the identity of the first house, where Uranus has been for you in your 5th and 4th houses. In the 5th house, with regard to your soul energy that's in Sagittarius, it's been very playful. It's been wanting to be the center of attention. It's probably been wanting to have a child or being very childlike. That 5th house energy. Again, the 5th house ruled by the sun. And so that solar great father energy of the soul really wanting to come through and show its clear identity, because Uranus transits a sign for 7 years. So this intuition, what you've been picking up from your knowing what you know within over the last 7 years, has created an emotional response, which we see in the Western astrology with Aries being in your 4th house, wanting to give birth, wanting to mother, wanting to nurture, wanting to use that excess of energy and self-identification to shine a light onto the world. So whatever that world will be or is for you, Capricorn moon people, is where your emotions are really at in terms of this freedom card right now. And so there's something that you are letting go, that you have let go of, be it a relationship, a job, be it a way of thinking, a lifestyle, or that you're considering letting go. And Great Mother is saying, yes, you're free. Breathe. You're a divine and dearly loved child of the Great Mother, Father God, who is always free. And coming into this awareness and in this alignment with your identity with the soul, this ego-soul alignment, is a very auspicious opportunity for you with the alignment of the planets in Capricorn, the Sun, the Moon, Mercury, and Venus. The transformative opportunity for you lies in Kali. Kali is the Hindu goddess of the transformation, the transcendence, and the transmutation of fear. So there may be some fear that's being brought up by this emancipation. Often when we find that we are free, we can look at examples of emancipation from freedom, from slavery. We can look at decolonization. We can look at a child leaving their home for the first time. It's an exciting time to finally be out of the bondage of someone else. But there also is an undercurrent of fear, as we saw in the movie when Dorothy was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow, after she realized she may have to leave the farm because Toto's life was in jeopardy. Notice, Capricorn moon people, you have Toto in 2 cards. Toto symbolizes Dorothy's intuition. So this confirms, and it does re-emphasize for you the importance of your intuition at this time. Your soul identity is very clear in this reading, that it is free and that it is receiving an emotional response from you of some fears. Now, what is fear but the false evidence appearing real of a situation, a relationship, or a circumstance? This is a first quarter moon card that has to do with decisions, actions, and facing challenges. And so what Great Mother is coming through and she's saying to you is that the Venetian energy in your 2nd and 1st houses is available to support you to balance, to harmonize, to connect your ego soul energies in such a way that you make fear your ally. Only Venus can do that. Only Venus can dance with warlike Mars and make him fall in love with her. You have the power to do that, Capricorn, this new moon season. Focus on transmuting that fear, and you will find that the celestial support that's available to you will rise up within you to do that. Saturn is in your sign your ruling planet, and it's going to make sure that you do that anyway. So you might as well work with the energy, because it is being recognized that there's a great deal of fear, so much so, this is a root chakra card, that you're feeling uprooted, you're feeling ungrounded. Now, this brings up issues related to home security, your tribe, your family, financial security, things of that nature, which you are more than capable of overcoming as a Capricorn. Now, as a Capricorn moon person, emotionally, it is very important to you that life feels that you have a practical connection to those grounding things, that foundation is there for you. That is just a non-issue. That's a non-negotiable issue. It's a non-starter to even talk about whether or not the basic needs are met. Of course, the root chakra rules Capricorn and Aquarius, and so yeah, there are some real issues with that saturnal foundation, but what you're being called to do is to look at the reason Saturn rules Capricorn. It rules Capricorn at the root chakra so that Capricorn remembers, perhaps more than most, in terms of its vibrational frequency, why it did incarnate. Why you did ground yourself on this planet. And it's not for material reasons. It is to materialize into a physical form that is going to fulfill the purpose of the soul. And so that is the point of the freedom that is available to you. There's freedom in that. There's freedom in living that. There's freedom in pursuing that. There's freedom in appreciating that. There's freedom in resting in the assurance of that. That's where the emancipation is. Because what Great Mother doesn't want you to overlook is that there's a great rage about this. Yes, there is ego-soul alignment. That's why you're scared. You don't want to do it. Yeah, I see it, I feel it every day. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I might be having some health issues related to the root chakra. Issues with my back, with my feet, with my hips, with my knees, with my coccyx, the lower part of my spine, because my kundalini is stuck at the root chakra. Oh, take a breath. There's so much support for you. Saturn is in your home constellation, Capricorn moon people, but so is Mercury, so is Venus, so is Neptune. What are your dreams? Maybe the focus has been so much on practicality and on material things, the dreams have been overlooked. And in the Sekhmet card, Rage, we see the scene in which Miss Gulch comes to take Toto away from Dorothy. She knew it was coming. And so maybe you know that something is coming if you align with this emancipation. Oops. And so that's what's making you fearful. That's what's making you rageful. And rage is suppressed anger. Being angry about this alignment, not adding up to what you thought it would be in a root chakra way. But sing to Great Mother as Dorothy did. Remember the lullaby before you incarnated that told you why you were coming here. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, I remember a lullaby. So whether or not you are receiving the support from others that you feel that you need in order to own and assert your identity, who you truly are, the gifts, talents, and abilities that you're here to share with the world, it doesn't matter. It's about you actually doing what you came here to do. This is not our home, Capricorn. It may feel very much like that to you. That's your emotional resonance. There's no denying that. That's your cosmic calculus. Yep. We all have one. We all have an emotional frequency that is just the vibe that our emotions go on, but we're more than our emotions. Our emotions are just like a radio station. We can choose what we tune in and what we tune out of. And for Capricorn, it's very difficult to tune out of that root chakra energy, as we see here with the two root chakra cards. When Miss Gulch came to take Toto, it was about that issue of Toto being Dorothy's intuition, that something wasn't right with that woman. And Toto, like a small child, like a dog, that really does symbolize what the parents feel inside. The child speaks what the parents really feel. Just as Toto was doing, she didn't like it. And so she was away with this dog. And Uncle Henry and Aunt Em were powerless to do anything because she had some power in town. How many times are we confronted with that, especially Capricorn moon people, where emotionally you really respect order and the administrative order of how things should be and how things go and all that kind of stuff in order to practically get things done. There's a value in that. But it can cause emotional discord, such as in this situation where we see here with the waxing moon card. Waxing moon is editing, refining, revising. And from this phase of the third quarter moon, which is right before this scene, third quarter moon, choices, decisions, actions, facing challenges. Okay? And so that's how she faced the challenge, was by calling out to Great Mother somewhere over the rainbow, which is your transformative opportunity with Venus being in your second and first houses. Your second house with the soul, intuition here, and intuition here with emancipation, is the soul's values. What does your soul really value? You know that now. With all of this first house energy, all this identity energy, that's first house before the second house. And so your soul identity has clearly, over the last 7 years with this Uranus and Aries transit, been showing you what it values. And if you're not living according to that, which is probably antithetical to how you're living your life at this time, otherwise you wouldn't be feeling rage. It needs to be honored. And I'm saying this to you because this is your energy for 2018. This is what you're working with. Okay? Total symbolizes intuition, and you're upset because someone's trying to take that intuition away from you. Well, that is what Dorothy was reacting to emotionally. But on a soul level, she was being taken on a journey so that she could realize her intuition could never be taken. Remember when she returned home? Who was there right there with her? Right there with holding him, right there with her, the last scene of the movie. He could never be taken away. Miss Gulch wasn't even in the last scene of the movie. Where'd she go? Where's she at? And so it's transmuting the fear. And that's why she had to go on the journey. 2018 is your journey, Capricorn moon people. And it is your journey to win or to lose as it relates to transmuting this fear and facing the rage that you have, facing the challenge of the illusion that someone else has the power to take what you know to be yours. Freedom of your soul, to live your freedom. Are you going to be taken off of the black and white life on the farm where this goes over here and this goes over here and this the way that go and this block goes here and this you're going to be taken from the farm into a technicolor journey. I'm excited for you. You have the energy of Venus, Saturn, Mercury, Neptune, did we say the sun? I think we said the sun a lot. So you have the power to do what it is you need to do to make whatever transitions you know that you need to make in your own personal life. More than likely, they are related to issues of clarifying your own identity in relationship to other people. Now that you're clear on that, you have so much first house energy, first house, second house, fourth and fifth house energy. This is all about asserting your identity in ways that are meaningful to you and in ways that you will experience peace, harmony at home, and that you enjoy. And for your clarification card, Capricorn moon people, I think that would be very useful for you to have. That's quite a message from Great Mother, but she knows that you're very strong, and I know you probably get tired of hearing that But you are, because of that saturnal energy that you have emotionally. You have a very strong vibration. You just don't give yourself credit for that. And so you react to other people saying that to you because you probably don't want to own that, because owning that does give people the excuse to expect you to do more than perhaps you really want to do, which is why it's up to you to do what you want to do. You're free. It's up to you. Okay? Now, we are asking the angels to give Capricorn moon people some encouragement after this very straightforward reading. Whoops, from Great Mother. It fell right out for you. And it is King of Gabriel, King of Wands in traditional tarot. So this has to do with you being in a place of kingship over your life, and an intelligence, a wisdom that you have to rule your life. The angels are coming through and they're saying that you have what it takes. It's not just Great Mother saying it, it's the angels saying generous, inspirational, dramatic, driven. That is exactly who you are, Capricorn moon people. Keep your eyes on the big picture. Leave the details to others. Experience that leads to success. You have the experience. Genuine concern for others. You know, so it's not that you don't care. It's because you probably care too much that it's difficult to emancipate yourself. And so the angels are coming through and they're saying, hey, you're generous of spirit. And so be generous to yourself. Allow yourself to be in alignment in a powerful way and release those things that no longer serve you, which more than likely are perceptions that control your life, when in actuality you are free. So let that message sink in for you with this new moon, Capricorn new moon people, and I will be speaking to you again when we come together under your collective consciousness, or unconsciousness, if you will, of your celestial body for the total lunar eclipse, which is for the full moon on the 31st. Thank you for watching, liking, and sharing as you see fit. But above all and most of all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too.
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami, Ishtar, Kali.